At the end of summer, I caught a lift with my Korean friend to the nearest beach. It's not very accessible by public transport, so I'd never been there before. But autumn was not far off, and my friend and I both wanted to swim in the ocean before summer was gone.
Are you sleepy?
Too early.
졸리죠? 나도 졸리네.
Can't speak Korean this early in the morning.
Okay.
My friend had never been there either. The first place we stopped was a pretty but semi-industrial harbor with no obvious place to swim. Are you disappointed?
Yes, I like this place good, but I like to swim.
Me too. My friend found another place a little further along, Holton Beach.
To find a place to swim.
I think we can swim right here, can't we?
진짜?
Why not? I like these trees. My friend was very determined to find a place to swim, but I'm easily distracted by nice trees. While she went off to, bizarrely, snorkel, I looked at the pines more closely. It's interesting to see exposed root pines because you don't often see them in nature. You see them a lot in bonsai, but here, because we're next to the ocean, they've all eroded away. I think they're black pines. They might be red pines, but I think they're black pines. After looking at the video closely, I'm about 60% sure that I'm right that these are black pines. But I could be wrong. Identifying pines is hard, and I'm no dendrologist. Still, it's always nice to see examples of the famous species of bonsai in a semi-native environment. I say semi-native because there was a time not so long ago when trees were a rare sight in Korea. These days it's rare to see one older than about 50 years, apart from the occasional sentinel tree in a village which was treasured and protected in the old days. The reason for this is that, by the end of the Korean War, Korea had a severe deforestation problem, with almost every tree cut down for firewood. If you've ever seen old Korean War photos, you might have noticed the barren hills. This changed when the semi-benevolent dictator Park Chung-hee decided to reforest the nation and set Korean villages, homes, students, and all the resources of the government to reforesting, as can be seen in this amazing archive footage. Unfortunately, in the rush to reforest, non-native species were used which would grow quickly in the depleted soils. One of the most common was the North American pitch pine, Pinus rigida, although actually I've never positively identified one of these pitch pines. As I've said, I'm no dendrologist, but they should be reasonably easy to identify, as pitch pines have needles in clusters of 3. Maybe it's because I'm too lazy to go hiking in the mountains. Anyway, according to one study I read, these pitch pine plantations are slowly becoming forests of oak, azaleas, flowering cherries, and junipers through the process of ecological succession. So that's nice. All this reminded me that I have an exposed root black pine of my own. It was my Christmas tree last year. It's been wired up for almost a year now, and I'd like to have it looking good for Christmas again this year, so I decided to unwire it. The wires probably could have stayed on for quite a bit longer, but they were just starting to dig in, and I felt like doing some bonsai work. It seemed like a good time. There's two schools of thought when it comes to unwiring. Some people like to cut the wire off, and some people like to unwind it. And people can get quite heated about this. I land somewhere in the middle. I prefer to unwind and upcycle the wire where possible. It can be good for wiring young seedlings, using as tie wires and around the house, but I'll cut it off when it's better for the tree or for my own convenience. At the end, the pine has relaxed nicely while keeping its shape. I actually haven't touched this tree all year, as it's never quite seemed to be at full health. Hopefully next year I can do some more work on it. It's not really my style, this tree. I'd like it to look a little more like the coastal pines I saw, a little more twisted and eccentric and not so squat. But I didn't grow it. I'm just the custodian for the time I'm here in Korea. It's been a difficult season for my Korean bonsai. In the middle of summer, I was deeply involved in running an English summer camp. There was a heat wave and then a typhoon. At the same time, an international scout jamboree was happening not far from us, and it became a disaster of international scale. We didn't have the same sorts of problems, but there was a lot of blowback on us. Amidst all this, I missed a couple of waterings and lost some trees, particularly the small ones in seedling trays. So I have less trees than I started the year with. There are a lot of things that are not optimal for growing bonsai about my current situation in Korea, but I remind myself that my real trees are back in Australia, and these ones are just for my learning and growth. Autumn is coming to Korea now. Meanwhile, back in Australian spring, my bonsai there are starting to grow again. My mother sent me some pictures. I do want to return to them one day, and certainly it's true that I too am entering the autumn of my life. But for now, both me and my Korean trees still have some growing to do here.